Hello and welcome to today's tutorial with Canva or on Canva. And just because I like jazz, I'd want to do a simple flyer for a jazz night. And let's get right into it. So this is something simple I'd want us to do, and still it was designed from scratch, very simple element inserted. So let's get right into it. Now, for some time now, we've been using a 48 by 48 inches workspace. So let's get right into it. Now, let's insert our background first, and then we'll build up from there. So I come to element and then let's just look for jazz. So I rather search for photos and scroll down. There are a lot of options, and you could also use uh, Google to Google, whichever artwork you'd want to use, or whatever image or whatever picture you'd want to use. But I used this very one, which is a silver saxophone on black surface, and just position and fill, and just position and fill. So now still at elements, and I keep saying something that sometimes when I want to try something, or when I want to insert something, I don't even know what I want to insert. I just come to elements and then type elements at elements, and then when it loads, I go to graph and then keep scrolling through until I find something that I think will work, or I try everything, almost everything there. Yes, sometimes I just have to, you click, you insert, it doesn't work, you delete, you click, you delete, click, you delete, until you find something that works. So that's why I keep saying that you have to take your time. You really have to take your time to search and be looking for the right thing to use, or the right elements, the right images, the right text, the font style, the right color, and all those other things. So it's patience. That's all I can say. It's patience. You need to relax and you know keep trying and trying and trying until you get something that works. So not waste too much time. Not waste too much time. Let me just go into okay. So let me just go into my recent. Let me go into my recent and then look for the elements that I used. So I use this particular element. I'm sure maybe I bypassed it. So abstract halftone element. So this is what I used, and also positioned it and drag over. Now it is too loud, so I just have to reduce it to any level I want, so to any level I think it's okay for me. Now still at element, I insert this and then position it, drag to fit my area, or the area I'd want to work with. So there was a mistake. I have to fill. This also has to fill. Now I position this and change the color. But I'll use the options available here. So let me try black. Is this black? No, I don't think it is black. No, it is not black. It's actually somewhere in the blue, somewhere in the shade of blue. So, but it's closer to black. And then let me reduce the transparency. Let me leave it at 80. And then give it a border. But I need to change the border color. So I can choose yellow. Let me use peach. And increase the border width or the border thickness. So now let me tilt it just a little bit and then duplicate and tilt it just a little bit to the other side, and we are getting somewhere. Now I would want to insert this, that is Jazz Nights, and I just wanted to keep it simple. So this is Metropolis, that's the font style, but it's also in the text options, this very one. Oh no, this is Lovely Line. But if I should scroll down, and it depends on what works for you and what you think you're okay with, and then it can, yes, this one, Metropolis. So it says what, Jazz Night, but for the jazz I omitted the J, so A and then night, so that, let me put off the neon and then position it, still come to element and then search for jazz. You could also search for saxophone. So this is the very one I used. It is jazz saxophone New York object CT. So I insert and then flip it. Oh, and flip. Guys, sorry if you should hear any noise at the background. It's raining here, so forgive me. And then I insert, but I would want it to be big. It's either I change the color of this outline because it's conflicting with the saxophone, or I change the color of the saxophone. I need to change one of them, their yellow color or their peach color sort of. So let me lighten this up and then lighten this up so that this will stand out, and then use the color of this and tilt it just a little bit. We are getting somewhere. Just a little bit and position it. Let me use the arrow key, and it's okay. Now we come and then we insert this. So this is what I did. Now I opened a different space or a different work area, and then what font style did I use? Okay, Canva. So I inserted this text box and then did venue, that is 123, or you could say 123 pub. So 123. But first of all, I would just want to change the background of this space since I'll be changing this to white so that it'll be visible for me whilst I work. And no, I'm not working here. I just want to do all the necessary editing and arrangements here, group them as one, and then move them so that it'll be easier for me. So, say 1, 2, 3. No, I have not. I didn't select. Now I've selected 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 pub. So let's just say 1, 2, 3 pub, and then bolden it, and increase the font size to, let's do something 200 for now. No, let's work with 400. Okay, I'm okay with this. And then write venue. So with this, since I have yellow in my design, I'll choose one of the yellows and reduce the font to, okay, yes, this works for me, and bolden it and position it on top of that, and then group this. No, I'm left with, so if I say venue 1, 2, 3 pub, where exactly is 1, 2, 3 pub located? I live in Ghana, so let me just use, no, I moved something, I'm not sure. I live in Ghana, so let me use Accra. And be sure of my arrangements. I think I'm okay. And then let me group this first one. And then select again and duplicate on group. And then I can see time. I can see time is let's say 8 p.m. 8 p.m. sharp. So I don't need this Accra again. Now venue time, let me position that and then group them as one. So venue, time, and date. So I select and duplicate and then try and get the arrangement done and then the spacing done. So date, so dates, let me see, what dates did I use here? I used June 17th, 2023. So let's just say June, and then let me ungroup, delete that, resize this, and possibly duplicate and then bring it here so that I can write my 7th, June 7th, and duplicate again and write my 2023. So I can increase my font size to 120. I think this can also be 120. I would want it to be white, or I can still keep it yellow and then try to do some arrangement and some alignment. So I zoom in to be sure what I am doing. I'd want this to be here and that should be there, but let me try and increase the font sizes. So let's do 150. Let's do this 150. and I think I'm okay. I zoom out and then group them again. So now I can move them as one element. And when I insert, I can resize them as one without having to be resizing them individually, because I've already grouped them. So I think I've gotten the center. Now, what are we left with? So this is just a name I wrote as a name for the band or the jazz group. So we just paste the name and make sure it's also aligned. I think this is okay. No, I need to move just a little bit. Okay, so still at element, and let me get into my recent. And this was the name dots decorative element. So I changed the color to any shade of yellow, but reduce it to 40. Position it to the back. So when I'm not sure, I take it to the back, the far back first, and then bring it forward one by one on it until it's visible to me. So when it's visible to me, meaning it's behind all of that. So I leave it and then duplicate again. I don't want to duplicate anymore, so let me just increase the size here. And then also make sure this is sent to the back, and then bring it forward as many times, and it's too much in front, and now it is at the back of this element. So let me zoom out and let's create this effect. So we come to text, and then we look for this particular text box, and then they are grouped, so I ungroup them first and then delete this first one. Now this is what I want, so I can write my jazz and maybe increase the font size to anything I think works. Now I change it to white, change it to white, and then reduce the transparency. Position it anywhere I want, and then also take it to the back. Now duplicate and then move it to the right just a little bit, or make sure it is arranged in the stepping order, and then from there Canva does that for you. And that's how I did this design. So this just for you to see or know how to manipulate and then use elements available to you, text box available to you, manipulate it in a way that you can get the results that you want. So thank you for joining me, and have a wonderful day. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and hope to see you in my next video. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.